Welcome to the Bringing the Human Back to Human Resources podcast. I'm Traci Chernoff, and I've spent my entire professional career in HR. Each week, we'll explore the delicate balance between people and business with the aim to reconnect the two and create meaningful outcomes. Listen in as I share my own experiences, challenge the status quo, and chat with guests from various industries about our mission to bring the human back to human resources. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Bringing the Human Back to Human Resources podcast. If you are watching this as a video, you'll notice that there actually is no video because it's going to be a very short episode this week. I am busy with the Jewish holidays and there's a lot going on coming up. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk about what the next few episodes will look like rather than going into a full episode this week. So appreciate your flexibility there. To be frank, I totally forgot to record an episode and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I have the Jewish holidays and I have 2 kids and I literally do not have any time. And so we decided, you know what, this is how life goes. And rather than trying to just come up with something haphazardly, we thought this could be a good informational episode. So as I said, when I came back from maternity leave, I was going to kind of figure things out as I go. And I've realized that being a parent who also works while also having a podcast and career coaching business and stuff like that is a lot of work. So I appreciate your understanding and flexibility. Okay. So here are some things that you want to keep in mind. Something very exciting is coming up, and that is the 200th episode. Thank you all so much for your support and for being here, whether you are brand new to this podcast as a listener, or whether you've been here since day one. I cannot believe that the 200th episode is coming up. And the 4-year anniversary is coming up in a few short weeks. So it's just so wild and insane. So in order to celebrate, we're going to do a very fun giveaway in celebration of the 200th episode. So make sure you head to my Instagram, which is HR Traci, that's HRTRACI, so that you can check out all of the details and get involved so that you can be a part of the giveaway. The last time we did a giveaway, we did a resume curation giveaway. And so I gifted something that I typically charge people for and work with people as clients on curating and editing and formatting and revising resumes. We gifted that as part of the giveaway. We gave that to someone, and I think we created a really wonderful resume for her. So that is something to look forward to. And then also, we have some amazing guests coming up, but specifically, I want to talk about some things which have come up, which are layoffs. We've talked about this quite a bit over the last few weeks, but we do have a guest who is going to speak about navigating layoffs with empathy, and her name is Jenna Dunne, and she's going to help us in understanding why offboarding matters just as much as onboarding, and the different phases of a layoff, how to prepare the team or your team really specifically if you're in HR or if you're a business leader, and then different creative ways to support your team during a layoff. And so this layoff series is going to basically take place over a few episodes. So we're going to start with Jenna, and then we're going to move on to an episode with just me, actually 2 solo episodes. And the first is going to be about how to take care of yourself as an HR professional and how to navigate the difficult process of layoffs, which includes self-care, seeking support if you need to, and things of that nature, because it weighs on us, right? When we have to do these layoffs, it's just very unfortunate. It can be very heavy. So we're going to talk about that and how we communicate with employees who are staying, because sometimes, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this with colleagues in the past, but there's sometimes this sense of survivor's guilt that those who are not a part of reductions in force or that are not a part of layoffs, they feel this sense of guilt, that other people, potentially people who they were friends with, have been laid off and have lost an income stream, and that those individuals who weren't laid off weren't impacted. And that sense of survivor's guilt can be quite heavy and very impactful in terms of the reverberation that's felt throughout the organization during a layoff. And then, of course, there's also this third kind of tenet to things, which is how we communicate with management during the transition and how to effectively manage transitions like this. And then the last solo episode in this layoff series will be focused on what employees can do in times of layoffs, how they can be prepared, what their first steps should be if they are laid off, what questions they should be asking in the event of a layoff or even after being laid off. And if an employee is staying and they have this sense of survivor's guilt, what they basically can do about it, and what that feels like, and that it's normal, and how they can kind of cope with that feeling that they might have. So those are some things that you can look forward to. This is a strange thing to say, but I'm looking forward to the layoff series because it is a topic that doesn't get old in a way. Like, we've talked about layoffs a lot. But we've also seen that there are tons and tons more layoffs recently, and I think it remains a really important topic. And some of the things that I just mentioned, we haven't really gone into with regard to layoffs. So I'm excited to kind of break those things down. And so I want to thank you again for your support. Thank you again for your flexibility with this week's very short, abbreviated, informational episode. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram so you can get more information around the giveaway. Again, the Instagram is HRTraci, and I will see you next week for our 200th episode. I can't believe it. I'm so excited, and I so appreciate that you all have been here in the last 4 years. At some point, you started listening to this podcast, and you have totally, totally impacted my life in such a positive way. So I just want to say thank you again, and I will see you next week. Bye. Hey, just before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the show so that you are the first to hear when an episode drops each week. And maybe leave a 5-star review and a comment about how much you loved this episode. Plus, if you have someone in mind who would really enjoy this episode, make sure you share it with them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.